at your fingertips.
Who's found Asamoah Gyan? Super finish!
Being on top of the news has never been easy. Visit us at www.3news.com for all your
heavy-duty equipment at the Tema port and issued a 12.7 million cedi check in payment of the duty. But the head of communication and public affairs at the GRA, Assistant Commissioner Robert Mensah, says the checks were dishonored at the bank.
The banks to which the checks were issued indicated that those accounts had been blocked.
The Ghana Revenue Authority made new payment arrangements with Ibrahim Mahama.
For the MBG, a reselling spanning over 1 year, for each month we're paying 800,000, and then for Holman we're paying 192,000 per month.
However, Ibrahim Mahama, after making a 1.5 million cedi payment in the first 2 months of the year, has defaulted in subsequent months. The GRA says it has issued a 2-week ultimatum to Ibrahim Mahama to make full payment of the amount outstanding.
For the first 2 months, we're expecting payment of up to about 2 million. We realize that they've reneged on the contract we have signed with them. And within the next 2 weeks, they should now pay all the indebtedness.
The GRA says it is ready to prosecute parties involved in the alleged fraudulent issuance of the DAT checks if it fails to retrieve the monies involved.
The law gives us the mandate to not only take the duty, but also to prosecute.
The GRA says it is ready to collaborate with the Economic and Organized Crime Office following the anti-graft body's investigation into the transaction.
Let's go on to other stories. 2 major teacher unions have called on government to extend the deadline in deleting the names of teachers not registered biometrically with SNET by 2 months. The National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, and the Teachers and Educational Workers Union, TEO, are of the view 13,000 teachers could be affected if their request is not granted.
26,000 out of 437,000 names of public sector workers risk being deleted for failing to register biometrically with SNET. According to the Controller Accountant General's Department, many of the affected workers are in the education sector. Currently, the 26,000 so far affected have within 5 working days to register with SNET. But the National Association of Graduate Teachers, NAGRAT, says about 13,000 teachers could be affected if the deadline is not extended and have petitioned the Finance Minister.
We have written to him, and in the name of peaceful coexistence at the labor front, we think that it is worth being considered. And if they should consider it and give us just 1 month to educate our people, think all the people who qualify to be paid in this country will avail themselves for the SNET biometric registration, and there will be peace.
He is of the view failure to extend the registration could trigger upheavals on the labor front.
It appears a bit too punitive instead of it being a means of solving a problem. And that is why teachers will not take it kindly if they are not properly treated in this matter.
The Teachers and Education Workers Union, TEU, also requested a 2-month extension to get its members registered.
At least it should be given 1 to 2 months period so that they can do the mop up. And once that is done, remember it's a running process. It's not a one-off thing. They should be given that room to be considered in this regard.
Its General Secretary, Augustine Kabo, again called for broader consultations before the deletion.
Once the data is gotten, we can zero into those specific institutions or schools or agencies where these registrations have not been completed, so that we can target and resolve them at that level rather than doing a mass deletion of names because it's not been done.
Former chairman of the National Security Committee on Lands and Natural Resources, Brigadier General Daniel Micho, says the Minerals and Mining Act should be fully implemented to get Galamsey operators prosecuted. He noted actions against illegal mining requires committed and dedicated leadership backed by a comprehensive and practical plan.
The current fight against illegal mining, popularly known as Galamsey, has attracted individuals and corporate institutions, with government urged not to succumb to pressure but remain resolute in its fight against the menace. Former chairman of the National Security Committee on Lands and Natural Resources, Brigadier General Daniel Micho, said the current measures put in place are ad hoc and advocated detailed planning and execution.
You need, first of all, to have committed and dedicated leadership, gather adequate intelligence, analyze the intelligence, come up with a comprehensive plan, a practical plan, before even carrying out the operations.
He said the Minerals and Mining Act is clear on the actions supposed to be taken against anyone who is engaged and associated with illegal mining. He added if the act is followed strictly, all those involved will be prosecuted and all equipment confiscated. Brigadier General Micho said the blame cannot be put only on the Minerals Commission.
I think that is a collective responsibility. Within the district or the region, you have political leaders, you have chiefs, you have opinion leaders, you have businessmen who finance the whole thing. Minerals Commission doesn't have security personnel who can enforce the law. It's the security personnel who enforce the law.
He stated reasons behind the success shocked in 2009 on the fight against Galamsey.
It was an interagency committee, and we had subcommittees: land subcommittee, mineral subcommittee, forestry subcommittee, and a media subcommittee. There was comprehensive planning done. And I think that nobody ever knew, even those who were behind the plans. All that they saw were the results.
He insisted the law should be vigorously applied.
A mining consultant said Claye has suggested a 1-kilometer buffer zone along rivers to stop pollution of water resources by miners. He was reacting to the Lands and Natural Resources Minister's order to the Okobeng Mining Company in the Western Region to stop its operations.
The Minerals Commission has come under fire for the operations of Okobeng Mining Company, which was issued with a prospecting license 2 months ago. The company had been mining about 30 meters to the river Nkobra for 3 months. Galamsey has left in its trail a lot of destruction. According to International Growth Center (IGC), an estimated $250 million is required to reclaim lands and water bodies in the Western region alone. Minister of Lands and Natural Resources blamed the situation on the negligence of the Minerals Commission.
To all the mining officers working at the Minerals Commission, they are all proceeding on a leave immediately. 9 district mining officers in this country are proceeding on leave immediately.
The Minerals Commission is tight-lipped on reaction to the orders of the minister on the suspension. A mining consultant, Seth Claye, is at the loss regarding the official who gave Okobeng Mining Company the license to operate.
The license that was issued, does it bear his signature, or it bears the signature of the outgone Minister of Lands and Natural Resources? That must be checked. But if it happened that the license was issued this year, then that would be very strange. Then that will be criminal, and the person who issued that license must be getting ready to go to jail, because the current minister has to sign the final document.
He is of the view that the punishment for negligence that has led to a lot of destruction should go beyond sacking of officials.
You don't give concessions close to river bodies. I am of the view that, there should always be a buffer between a river and a concession. And it should be a safe distance of like 1 kilometer. Mining concessions all around the world have to pump water from long distances to be able to treat their ore.
Seth Claye was, however, quick to add that the minister's action is a step in the right direction.
Away from illegal small-scale mining, the president of the Ghana National Canoe and Fishermen Association, Ni Abio Trekwanda, has asked government to deliver on its promise to construct a fishing harbour for fisherfolks at Jamestown in Accra. He expressed disappointment over failed promises by past governments.
Jamestown, a popular coastal community, lies alongside other densely populated communities like Choko and Bukom. The main economic activity here is fishing. The proposal for the construction of a fishing harbour for fisher folks started long ago. In 2004, former President Kufuor cut the sword for the construction of the harbour, but it never came to fruition. The proposed harbour was also in the late Professor Atamil's budget and was echoed in President Mahamad's tenure. On Sunday, April 23, President Akufo-Addo reassured the chiefs and people of Jamestown of plans to construct the new harbour for Jamestown. Showing a proposed design which is currently at the Ministry of Fisheries, the president of the Ghana National Canoe and Fishermen Association, Ni Abio Trekwanda, tasked the current NPP administration to deliver on its promise as past governments have failed in executing the project.
If we really want to continue to regard Ghana as a fishing country, or a country in which the fishing industry plays an important part, then the question of building fishing harbors at strategic places still stands as a very important thing.
Again, Niabio Trekwanda asked government to tackle all unauthorized fishing methods, which is depleting fish stock.
While we are thinking about constructing a fishing harbor here, we should also think about what to do to stop the activities of these miscreants and actually take firm measures to deal with them and make sure that the fish stocks are restored.
This year's month-long ban on drumming and noise-making starts from Monday, May 8th. The Ghana Traditional Council says it is in strong collaboration with the Ghana Police Service to ensure people respect the ban and honor the customs and traditions of the Ghana state during the period.
The ban on drumming and noise-making is an annual ritual in Accra to usher the annual Homowo Festival. There should be no drumming and noise-making, no clapping and no burying of the dead for the 1-month period. So we entreat all persons in Accra to respect our tradition. The Gbesimanche and Adontihene of the Ghana State, Niaibunte, urged the general public to respect the ban and honor the customs and traditions of the Ghana State during this period. We use this period to fast and pray and also appeal to the gods for peace and prosperity in the Ghana State. We have a special task force in place who will deal with any individual who flouts the ban. The ban will be lifted on Thursday, June 8. The Homowo celebration for Gamashi will be on Saturday, August 12.
In other news, business bounced back, however, in makeshift structures after the fire disaster which gutted some subsidiaries of Group Indum at the Coconut Grove Regency Hotel. According to the Corporate Affairs Director, Richmond Kilson, despite the damage, vital company information remains intact.
GN Bank, Gold Coast Securities, Amansan TV and Business Television Africa were gutted by fire, leading to the loss of property worth millions of cedis. On Monday morning, two of the companies, Gold Coast Securities and GN Bank, welcomed customers in a makeshift structure, with business moving on smoothly.
Irrespective of how, if you like, non-congenial the atmosphere might be, we still believe that business must go on. We should offer confidence to our people. We should offer confidence to our staff. And that's exactly what we've done today.
Workers of other subsidiaries were preparing a well-organized area for the two companies, with Amansan and BTTV joining First Digital at Asalam Down. Richmond Kilson said no worker has been laid off following the disaster. A client, Dinah Esiama, said she heard the news a day after the incident.
I came to find out how the bank is still running in terms of its work and to know how far I can still be with them.
The corporate affairs manager said the report from the fire service would be studied and precautionary measures adopted to avoid future disasters.
Well, after that inferno, let's get into the weather tonight. It will be cool with few clouds over entire country this evening. Thunderstorms and or rains are expected over few places in the eastern region, western Ashanti Volta and central region. The day tomorrow will be sunny throughout the country with partly cloudy conditions in the southern half later in the day. There'll also be the occurrence of mist over the mountainous, hilly and forested areas tomorrow morning. Let's find out how the weather will be treating us throughout the night into tomorrow.
You're watching News 360, still to come in the bulletin. World's first vaccine against malaria to be introduced in Ghana next year following expanded programs to tackle the disease.
And on international front, the mayor of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi, denies allegations he embezzled government money allocated to the palace since his ascent to the throne in 2015.
We'll bring the details of those stories here on News 360 shortly. Stay with us.
A very good evening and thanks for staying with us on News 360 Time for Business. My name is Nanekia Mensa Abrampa, and tonight TV3 has hosted the third edition of Time with the Captains, with guest being Tutu Ejare, who is managing partner of Nobuke Investments, talking to students on issues bothering on investment and how to raise funds for entrepreneurship.
When it comes to unemployment, if there were a bunch of employers here, some of them will say that when you ask people to come in to write their CVs, to put these things, there's not enough being done by the colleges to prepare the students for the real world, to prepare them to be able to, ultimately it's not what you've learned, it's what the employer wants. And matching up those two is where the real challenge lies, the extent to which there are employers out there who are looking for people. And that's what we really need to focus on, making sure that, we have
industry and academia.
Yeah, well, we have a country, the country has a business plan. What falls out of the business plan are skills requirements. You have to match those skills requirements with the educational system. And making sure that what the educational system is providing is the same as what the country requires.
And we really don't have that at the moment, do we?
Well, I think there's an imbalance and it needs to be addressed.
Why? So Tutu Ejare was addressing students of Zenith College as well as Wisconsin University International School, as well as some players of industry. In our subsequent bulletin, to be giving you more detail to that particular one. Let's move on to some more issues tonight. And Managing Director of First Bank Financial Services, Amenyo Setochi, has called for caution in the ongoing discussions around the $2.25 billion bond issued earlier this month. He said calls for a parliamentary probe into the issuance of the 15 and 10-year bonds might increase the country's risk and coupon rates when Ghana goes onto the international capital market.
The minority in Parliament is calling for the resignation of the Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta, alleging conflict of interest and lack of transparency in the issuance of the bonds that raised $2.25 billion at 19.75%. According to the minority spokesperson on finance, Atoforsen, the bond issue was done in secrecy and involved business partners of the finance minister. Bart, MD of First Bank Financial Services, Amenyo Setoji, says the lead investor Franklin Templeton Investments has been familiar with the country's bond market for some years now.
This is not the first time they are participating, so the issue of conflict of interest is not too strong.
He also disagreed with concerns about the 19.75% coupon rate of the bonds issued, allegedly being too high.
10-year bond was issued in November 2016, and that was at a coupon rate of 19%. So if you're now going to issue another one which is of a longer dated instrument, which is 15 years, you expect that there should be a premium for maturity.
Amenyo Setoji asks for circumspection in the public discussion of the issue so as not to impact negatively on the economy in the future.
Let's examine the issues more critically and be well informed before we take the next step.
Away from that, the Catlin Sports Store has opened its largest shop in West Africa in Accra at the Junction Mall. Country manager and chief executive officer of the Catlin Ghana, Kwesi Tambri, says the company is seeking to make sporting items accessible and affordable to all.
Decathlon is a leading French sports equipment and sportswear company. At the opening of their biggest shop in Accra, they showcased over 2,000 of their own brands, including sports products ranging from football, basketball, swimming, hiking, skating, diving and many more. As Decathlon is known for its innovative products and quality, they also have 25 to 50% discount of all products, as well as offering 2-year warranty on products to their customers. Country manager and chief executive officer of Decathlon noted his excitement as the patronage of their items exceeded expectations.
Our main target is to listen, to understand the sportsmen and women. It's key for us.
He explained the company's intention for the next few years to come.
Our main goal is to be in the heart of Ghanaian people, to understand their need, and then in future to open much more stores all over the country.
Meanwhile, their payment mode is so flexible as customers can pay in cash, through credit cards, ATMs, and through mobile money, and also have online services for customers outside Accra.
And Unilever Ghana has rewarded customers for their loyalty, long service, innovation and commitment to the company at an annual reception and awards night here in Accra. Managing Director of Unilever, Yeo, said the company is geared at giving the best services to customers in coming years.
Following the huge success of Unilever Ghana and its distributors last year, some awards were presented to show appreciation and encouragement for a job well done. Some distributors, including Power Hydraulic Limited, Grand Central Enterprise, among others, were rewarded. Osei Kwesi Boakye Company in Kumasi was awarded the overall best key distributor and was presented with a check of 30,000 cedis.
We have a lot of people that we've employed. So I know that people are getting money, taking home to take care of their family, become a channel for Unilever to use to reach homes. I think that one too is something that we've done to support the nation.
Managing Director of Unilever Ghana, Yosio Biton, assured Ghana and Africa for a prosperous and better services.
Unilever is a company that is designed to create value for a number of stakeholders. The first one, of course, are the shareholders. We must bring value to them, and the way we do that is to generate profitable growth.
The night was an opportunity to bring together staff and clients. Unilever Ghana Limited supplies fast-moving consumable and non-consumable goods across products, home and personal product categories in Ghana.
And that will do for business tonight. My name is Nanikia Mensah Brampa. We're going back to Natalie and Alfred to continue.
Thanks, Nanikia, for that.
Thank you very much, Nanikia. Let's go to some stories. If you just want to know, Ghana has recorded a significant reduction in malaria prevalence from 50% in 2002 to 20.4% last year. That's the year 2016. This means Ghana is no more hyperendemic for malaria.
Health experts are attributing the success rate to the use of insecticide-treated net and indoor residual spraying. Currently, severe malaria admissions have reduced. The death rate has significantly declined, with under 5 malaria fatality dropping from 14.4 in 2000 to 0.32 last year. Malaria-related death in all ages has also seen a decline from 3,882 in 2010 to 2,264 last year. More so, over 78% of pregnant women have resorted to using the treated net, reducing the infection rate. Ghana is no longer hyperendemic for malaria.
We've made all this progress. Does it mean it's been smooth sailing? No. There have been challenges and there are still challenges. The challenge is still to do with the resistance and the use of the nets. Even though we've shown, and everywhere, the whole world shows that if you use the nets, it can be prevented from getting malaria. Still, there are people who do not want to use it.
From next year, Ghana will join Malawi and Kenya to take part in the WHO coordinated pilot program for malaria vaccine, which has gone through more than 20 years of testing.
A serious obligation remains ahead of us all to save the unfortunate people who die of these preventable and treatable diseases.
Speaking at the launch of the Ghana Malaria Foundation to commemorate World Malaria Day, which falls on April 25, the Deputy Director of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Gloria Kransa, lauded partners for contributing to Ghana's success story. First Lady Rebecca Akufo-Addo called for private sector support to close the funding gap.
By investing in the fight against malaria, you'll be exercising your power to stop deaths due to malaria. At the same time, your investments will generate real returns, as it will be a key driver of business growth.
World Malaria Day is an international observance commemorated every year on April 25 and recognizes global efforts to control the disease.
We'll bring you more on that tomorrow, which is World Malaria Day. Well, you're still watching News360. This bulletin is streaming live on 3news.com as well as News on TV 3 on Facebook. We'll return with more news. Stay with us.
Hello, good evening. Sports News Time here on News360. And the current sponsorship deal between the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation and the Black Stars will be amended to take care of other sporting needs in the country. Sports Minister Isaac Asiama says, whilst report that the deal has been cancelled are untrue, they're seeking to channel the sponsorship through the ministry for other sports and disciplines in the country to benefit.
The GMPC deal will continue. The support for the national team will continue. There's that all that this time place much emphasis on will be greater transparency and accountability in the use of our own oil money. Ensure that there's proper oversight by the Ministry of Youth and Sports. So now the amount will be channeled through the Ministry of Youth and Sports. It's no longer going to go through the GFA. The ministry will take charge, full responsibility, so that the minister, whoever is here, would report to Parliament, people's representatives, on the use of the funds. So instead of that direct link of the GFA, no, it will come to the Ministry of Youth and Sports for disbursement to the senior national team. It will also enable the ministry to also support other sporting disciplines. That's the sense why we are bringing it here. The ministry will have its own priorities, so that by the allocation that we get from GMPC or from the Ministry of Energy, part of it could also be used to support the other sporting disciplines.
So that's a crucial development as far as the Black Stars is concerned. Elsewhere, the Ministry of Youth and Sports says government will back the former Black Stars captain Kwesi Appiah fully in his new role as Black Stars coach. Sector Minister Isaac Asiama told the press after a meeting with Appiah and the GFA executives that Appiah will get the necessary backing to thrive and laid out government's expectations of him.
You can be assured the fullest support from the government of His Excellency President Akufo-Addo. We are going to give you all the support that you need to succeed. Ghanaians love football, and we demand nothing but victory. We pray that good Lord will reward your efforts with nothing but success. I implore you, the new national coach, to be very assertive, be fair and firm in your selection of players. Help to improve our local league. You should stay focused on your job, and your vision should be clear to make the Black Stars greater than you have come to meet it. Bring back the support of Ghanaians. Now, Ghanaians are not so much enthused when they hear of our senior national team, the Black Stars. Coach Kwesi Appiah, you are supposed to also ensure that our supporters are happy once again. On behalf of the President, we wish the new coach well. We expect nothing but success from our new coach.
Kwesi Appiah is in for some trouble. Elsewhere, it is a common tale about life after football. Often, when the whistle stops and the cheers die down, those unprepared for it are found desperately wondering. Bedu Achampong has the tale of one such player who is hoping his story will sound the alarm bells to the latest generation of high-earning professional stars.
In his prime, Abu Imoro was a midfield dynamo capable of breaking up play and creating chances with equal elegance. He was so good, they nicknamed him after the French great Jean Tigana. He was tough, tireless, and technically tremendous, but those on-field qualities which made him a beauty to behold doesn't seem to have guided him off it or in life after football. In his own words, his entire career earnings has been blown away on drugs. Now the former RTU and Black Stars midfielder is forced to survive on the hangout of others.
I sometimes go to Abedi. He will receive me well, but he will give me transportation. So I'm expecting them to help me a lot. Even if a little self, I can force myself to come up.
Abu Moro, you see here with me, yes, was my senior in the national team that we had to take a lot of lessons from. In those days, he was a champion in his own class. He's a real role model. But let us look at only the negatives. What he has gotten into. If others get themselves into it, this is how they will end up, if not worse. We're still trying. We still want to get him out of this situation.
While Imoro doesn't earn anything close to what present day's players pocket, he says they are as vulnerable to the traps as anyone else. He desperately hopes telling his story will help many others avoid the same mistakes.
When I went into drugs, I regretted it very much. I would advise them not to go near drugs because they are youth. They are now coming up. And if you want to play, don't move to drugs. Keep yourself out.
I remember one veteran sports journalist telling me, if you saw Abu Moro and Abedi Pele play, you would understand why this story is so sad. Last night, a man who is taking the world of football by storm. Well, Lionel Messi scored that goal to give Barcelona a 2-1 victory over Real Madrid and turn the Spanish La Liga title race on its head. He effectively went into the records book as well. It was his 500th career goal for Barcelona. He's played literally all his club football for them. 343 of those goals has been scored in La Liga. 94 Champions League goals. He scored 43 in the Spanish Cup, 12 of them in the Spanish Super Cup, 5 in World Club Championship, and 3 in the UEFA Super Cup. You can later check out our Twitter page for the full breakdown of those goals. Our final story is from boxing, and Anthony Joshua says, quote, "Father time has caught up with Vladimir Klitschko as the two prepare for Saturday's heavyweight world title bout." Joshua, who is 14 years Klitschko's junior, is hoping to successfully defend his IBF title against the Ukrainian and add the vacant WBA Super and IBO heavyweight title belts at the Grand Stadium. Klitschko has lost only once in 11 years, and Joshua reckons it is time he passes on the baton because he's, quote, too old. That bout, remember, is on Saturday. We've got a full build-up to it throughout our sports bulletins here on News 360, as well as on New Day and Midday Live. Before we go, a quick reminder that Newcastle United could be returning to the English Premier League if they hold on to their 2-1 advantage against Preston of Head. Ghana's Christian Achu with the second goal for them, so Achu's goal could be sending Newcastle back to the Premiership. Thank you for watching.
Welcome back to News 360, and in entertainment news this evening, DJ prodigy Erica Tando, aka also known as DJ Switch, has been magical on the turntable and sees talented kids as a learning curve. The rising star is upbeat about her chances at the final on May 7.
She's only 9 years, but her prowess on the turntable is one that goes beyond imagination. Her act is one of the few unique ones which grace this year's edition of Talented Kids. Known as DJ Switch, Erica Tando was selected at the Takoradi audition, and the rest has just been fireworks. She has won 4 awards to her credit on the show, 3 times Best Creative Act and 1 time Star Performer. DJ Switch has her eye on the ultimate and won't stop at anything to emerge winner.
Talented Kids is not easy, but with hard work, I'm in the finals. I'm very happy, and that tells me that I have to work hard and train hard. I have to do whatever they ask me to do so that I can win the competition.
With the ambition of becoming a medical doctor, Erica hopes to save lives, but it will also not stop her from pursuing her passion in DJing. For her, the show has been challenging, but also worth every bit of it.
And welcome to Turntable Cantata with your one and only DJ Switch. Tonight we are going to look at the difference between musicians of independence era and musicians of today.
Her trainer, Terria Evans, said the finale will be full of surprises. He also added that Erica had been amazing and it was easy working with her.
Switch is kind of a child that is trainable. Everybody would love to work with her when it comes to memorizing lines. Sometimes some of the things she says on air, we give it to her like 5 minutes to stage, and she will just memorize it and come in and deliver. So,
will this year's title go to the West? May 7, 2017 will be the deciding factor.
And of course, the time Satawale was called.
Oh, Fred, so much talent. She really gets people dancing there.
Yeah, on the turntables.